earlier models which we have discussed about the leader member exchange theory and Vroom's Wetton decision tree model is there. Now, interestingly with the period of research, because earlier the trait theories, the behavior theories, and on basis of those theories the different models have come. So, now the question arises about the situation, and therefore, in that case the situational leadership model that we will see, that is the how it has been working. Now, in the situational leadership model, the 4 types of the leader behavior is there, right, that we will be discussing. The followers readiness to is very much important, then the maturity levels of the follower, then new employee in that situation, and then in case of the situational leadership model and in interactional framework, as usual the case study, the research papers, book recommendations and the references that we will be discussing, right. So, here whenever we are talking about the situational leadership model, the is also called the Hershey-Blanchard's model, is primarily concerned with the maturity level of the team's members is there. This is one of the model of the situational leadership. And in this case, in Hershey-Blanchard's model, there are the different situations have been considered, and the leader should adopt the flexible leadership style. And high maturity team members are experienced and able to make decisions independently, and therefore, in that case that is the whenever there is the followers, those who are having the team members means followers basically are the your team members are there, and when they are having the high maturity level are there, then definitely yes, they can take their decisions, make decisions very independently. So, for example, the section heads. So, section heads it is expected that they are having the high maturity model is the maturity level will be there, and when they are having the high level of maturity, then definitely their decisions that they can take the decisions independently. And here we will talk about the moderate maturity employees are capable, but lack confidence, right. So, there the another category of these the followers are that they are having the not high maturity, they are having the moderate maturity, but as a high maturity level they take the decisions independently. The moderate maturity employees are capable but lack confidence, or have confidence but are not willing to complete the task they are assigned. So, therefore, they because of lack of confidence they are not willing to complete the task what their task have been assigned, and the low maturity employees are enthusiastic and willing, but do not have the skills or experience to complete the task is there. So, here the Hershey-Blanchards have talked about the 3 maturity level where the high maturity, moderate maturity level and the low maturity level is there. The situational leadership model offers answers to 2 important leadership questions. Is there an optimum way for leaders to adjust their behavior with the different followers and thereby increase their likelihood of success, and therefore, in that case it will be always important, that is the leader has to adjust the behavior according to the maturity level of followers. So, if they are different followers and their the maturity levels are different, then definitely in that case the leader is supposed to have this particular the flexibility, that is how to adopt the maturity level is there. What factor should the leader base his behavior on the followers intelligence, right, and therefore, in that case it is become very important, that is the leaders behavior, right, the followers intelligence that has to be taken care of. So, in the case is the followers intelligence is important, or his the personality traits are important, the value system of the follower is important, or the preferences which he has is important, or the technical competence is important, right. So, therefore, in that case the leader has to take care of these different dimensions, and when he takes care of these different dimensions then in that case he will be adopting the different leadership maturity model. So, here you will find that is there are the 4 types of the leaders are there, leader behavior is there, and those that is a task behavior and the relationship behavior is there. When the task behavior is directive behavior is there, so in the case there is a low relationship and low task is there, right. So when it will be happening that when there is a delegating is there. So delegating means giving that particular opportunity to the followers, so that they will be, there is not necessarily to interact with much with them, and therefore there will be their low relationship and low task is there. So here you will find that there are the R1, R2, R3 and R4 are there. There is the unable and the unwilling for the insecure is there. So if R1 style is there, unable and unwilling is there, then in that case you have to go for the telling style. Telling style means that is the autocratic style is there. So in autocratic style, because the neither they are willing to work, your followers are unable and unwilling, right. So therefore in that case it is always better, that is the you are having the telling style is adopted. The second maturity level is that is the unable but willing or the confident is there, and therefore in that case this type of the followers they are willing to perform. Simple example, if I do not know the operation of this particular machine, how to do that, then in that case I am unable, right, but I want to know and I want to do this job. So they are the willing or the confident type of these the followers are there. When you are having the unable but the willing or confident employees, then you can go for the selling style of these the leadership style. Selling style means that is the explaining them and the persuading. So therefore in that case what will happen, that is they will be able to do the task, because they are unable but willingness is there. So once you leader should explain them, selling means explain and persuading there. So here it will be high task and high relationship will be there. Now whenever we are talking about the third level of R3 level of the maturity level of the followers, they are able but unwilling or insecure. So if they are unable but they are able, they are competent, right, but they are not doing the task, that is the unwilling to perform. But they are so therefore it is that is the it will be the encouraging will be the and the problem solving. So therefore what you have to do, you have to interact with them, because these are the employees those who are very important, and therefore because they are able, so competent employees are there, but they are not performing. So whenever these competent employees are not performing, you have to give them the encouraging also and the problem solving also. So once you adopt this particular style, then definitely in that case you will find that is the your leadership style will be more successful according to the situation is there. Suppose you are having the able and willing and confident employees, you know. So therefore from unable to we have gone to the able, and unwilling R1 to the R4, that is the unwilling to the willing. So when we are having able and willing, so no telling style, no autocratic style is required, no selling style, because they know their jobs and they are willing also and they are able also. Here they are able because they are able, so it is not like that is the unwillingness, because they are having the willingness also. So therefore in that case it is just an observing and monitoring that will do, because these are the competent employees. And whenever you are having these competent employees, those who are able and willing, then definitely you can give what will be the leadership style, that will be the delegating style will be there. So therefore these 4 leadership styles, telling style, selling style, participating style and delegating style, and these 4 style of this leadership, that will depend on the R1, R2, R3 and R4 situations. That is the maturity level of followers, whether they are able and willing, delegating is there, they are able but unwilling, participating is there, they are unable but willing, selling style is there, and telling style is that is totally they are unable and unwilling is there. Here you can also connect what we have discussed earlier, A1, A2, C1, C2 and G2, that is about the autocratic style and participative style and democratic style. And therefore, in that case whenever you find people are the very hard to work to then in that case you be autocratic style. So, as per the situation you do this act as per the situation and adopt the flexible leadership style. So, it there one more important point is there that is the in the case the one person can be unable and unwilling for the one task, but he can be able and willing for the another task. I hope you are getting my point. That is the same person. So, it is not about the person, it is about the in a given situation and person. So, for a given task, if the person is able and willing, right. So, then definitely in that case you can go for that particular this delegating style, but the same person can be unable and willing. With the same person you can adopt the selling style. So, what I want to say, that is it will be the situation. The person is same, situation changes, immediately you have to also change your leadership style. So, 4 types of this delegating style: other team members to be responsible for certain tasks to lead subgroups. And this style best suits a team of high maturity employees because it requires team members to be both confident and capable. Then the participating style is there. This style focuses on sharing ideas and decisions. Leaders who use the participating style might apply it to moderately mature team members who are capable but lack confidence and need one-on-one mentoring is there. Selling style is there. This team refers to a style that involves the leader attempting to sell his ideas to the group by persuasively giving task instructions. This may sometimes suit moderate team members, but it is best used with the employees who are confident but unable to complete the task is there. So, therefore, in that case this leadership style will be working with the those employees, right, those who are confident but unable to complete. So, what selling means, you will give the ideas, you will support them so that they can perform the task. The telling style is, that is the autocratic style is there, giving explicit directions and who supervise all tasks closely. This style best suits low maturity followers who are unwilling as well as unable to act independently, and therefore, in that case they will be having the telling style is there. So, in situational leadership, followers readiness refers to the followers ability and willingness to accomplish a particular task and therefore, in that case in case of the situational leadership right, the followers that ability and willingness, right, that is becoming a maturity parameters to accomplish a particular task. So, readiness is not an assessment of an individual's personality, right, our trait, values, age and so on. It is not a personal characteristics, but rather how ready an individual is to perform a particular task. So, as I mentioned that there will be the readiness is there. So, therefore, if the person is ready to perform a particular task, right, but then he is not having that ability, then definitely you will adopt the appropriate, which a selling style you will apply. So, any given follower could be low on readiness to perform one task, but high readiness to perform a different task. So, therefore, focus on that particular situation for certain tasks, like for example, the Turing task. So, for Turing task one may be able, but unwilling. So, which leadership style you will adopt? Right. So, you will be adopting the participating style is there. One person who is able and willing that particular task of Turing, right. So, therefore, he is willing for Turing also, he is also able. So, what type of the leadership style you will adopt? Correct. So, that is the delegating style will be there. So, therefore, in that case the appropriate leadership style will be adopted. The unable and willing, the knowledge followers lack the knowledge, skills and willingness. Yeah, I always talk about the case model, and therefore, in that case you will find that is the KSA, knowledge, skill and attitude, and therefore, the willingness is an attitude is there. So, if you adopt that knowledge, skill and willingness, then maturity level of unable and the unwilling is there. So, then if it is low, right, then definitely we will go for the autocratic style. Unable but willing is there. So, followers are willing and enthusiastic, but the lack the ability is there. So, therefore, in that case when they are unable and the willing, because already I have mentioned earlier also in this style, that is the for the unable but willing is selling style, able yet unwilling is participating style, able and willing there will be the delegating style will be there. So, this is where the maturity levels are there. Now, let us take an example of the new employee. A new person joins our team and you are asked to help them through the first few days. You sit in front of a PC and tell them you have some work to do, and then you leave for a meeting. A very interesting exercise you can do to implement and check this particular leadership model. So, whenever a new person that is the new employee who joins you, and then you want to find out that what is the maturity level of this particular person, right. So, therefore, you have tell them you have some work to do, and then you leave for a meeting. What happened? Here the follower is on R1, unable and unwilling, and you have opted S4, delegating. So, everyone loses as the new person feels helpless and unmotivated, as well as you failed as a leader. So, therefore, in that case whenever the new person has joined, what should have happened? You should have detailed instructions and a checklist for the new person. You should have opted for S1 telling leadership style is there. So, that is a close supervision and directions which are supposed to be given to this the new employee is there, because you have just said and you are assuming that is this new employee will be able to do. But definitely in that case, because the person is new to organization, he does not know what to do, how to do, whether it is right or not. So, his confidence level is very low, right. So, you cannot go for the delegating here, dear friends. So, what is required is that is here that is the clear cut instructions are required, directions are required, and that is a telling style is required. In the case of the situational leadership and interactional framework is there. So, here the telling, selling, participating and delegating. Decision to use the that is a developmental interventions are to be there. So, therefore, in that case whenever we are talking about the accomplishment of any task which is to be completed or increase the follower readiness, this is very important. A very important point I think that is the you should also observe readiness. Many times I come to across this particular situation and find that is the even the person, because he is able and unwilling, and therefore his readiness is low. Readiness is low to perform, readiness is low to accept. So, readiness, right, and we can talk later in detail about the readiness of followers, right. So, what is required to increase the readiness? Developmental interventions are needed. Now, again here is the question that how effective will be your developmental interventions, because if the person's maturity level is low, even you try to give him the developmental instrumentations interventions apply, but he will not be able to grasp it, he will not accept it, no. Therefore, he will be reluctant to increase his readiness. So, your all developmental interventions that will fail. So, what to do in that case? You have to find out if a person is able or not. A person is able and his readiness is low, right. So, you have to go for the participating style, but your participating style if does not work, right. So, then you have to see whether the person has after the consulting the person and encouraging. What was the word? That was encouraging and participating. But encouraging and participating, you are asking him that is okay, what is the problem, why you are not delivering, you are supposed to deliver like this, you can do this, but he is not delivering, he is not able to understand your instructions. Then in that case it is better to be the telling style, move to the telling style is there, because his ability will be converted into unable, right, because unwillingness is there already, and we were classifying that particular person into the able, but that person is not into that able category. So, therefore, in that case he is it was our wrong notion, that is the for that particular task we will treat him as a unable if our developmental intervention does not work. So, therefore, you have to find out that what is the follower's readiness is there, and it seems that there is no readiness is there. So, what is the task to be accomplished, that is a situation is there, and if the task has to be accomplished timely, then definitely in that case the leader has to take the action and get the work done, right. So, case study, why are not they listening? Jim Anderson is a training specialist in the human resource department of a large pharmaceutical company. In response to a recent company wide survey, Jim specifically designed a 6-week training program on listening and communication skills to encourage the effective management in the company. Very interesting and relevant case for you. So, Jim's goals for the seminar are twofold: for participants to learn new communication behaviors and for participants to enjoy the seminar, so they will want to attend the future seminars. The first group to be offered the program was middle level managers in research and development. This group consisted of about 25 people, nearly all of whom had the advanced degrees are there. Most of this group had attended several in-house training programs in the past, so they had a sense of how the seminar would be designed and run. Because the previous seminars had not always been very productive, many of the managers felt a little disillusionized about the coming to the seminar. As one of the managers said, "Here we go again, a fancy in-house training program from which we will be gain nothing." Because Jim recognized that the managers were very experienced, he did not put many restrictions on attendance and the participation. This is to be learned, right. That is those who are having the already experienced one. So, attendance and participation is you cannot make the compulsory as per the your young students in the class. He used a variety of presentation methods and actually solicited involvement from the managers in the seminar. Throughout the first 2 sessions, he went out of his way to be friendly with the group. He gave them frequent coffee breaks during the sessions. During these breaks, he promoted socializing and then networking is there, because they were the experienced persons. During the 3rd session, Jim became aware of some difficulties with the seminar. Rather than the full complement of the 25 managers, attendance has dropped to about only 15 managers. Although the starting time was established at 8:30, attendees had been arriving as late as 10 o'clock. During the afternoon session, some of the managers were leaving the sessions to return to their offices at the company. As he approached the 4th session, Jim was apprehensive about why things had been going poorly. He had become quite uncertain about how he should approach the group. So, many questions were running through his mind. Had he treated the managers in the wrong way? Had he been so easy regarding attendance at the sessions? Should he have said something about the managers keeping out in the afternoon? Were the participants taking the seminar seriously? If you are the Jim, how you will handle this particular situation? This is your assignment. Jim was certain that content of the seminars was innovative and substantive, but he could not figure out why he could change to make the program more successful. He sensed that his style was not working for this group, but he did not have a clue as to how he should change what he was doing to make the sessions better. What style of leadership is Jim using to run the seminar? Right. From a leadership perspective, what is Jim doing wrong? What specific changes could Jim implement to improve the seminars? Right. This will be a wonderful the assignment for you. This research paper which you can refer, a test of the 3 basic assumptions of situational leadership to model and situational leadership to model, and their implications for the HRD practitioners are there. This paper is written by the Dre Zigermi, Ken Blanket companies from the Escondido, California, USA. And the second author is Taylor Python Roberts from the Valencourt Consulting, San Diego, California, USA. Purpose: this study aims to test the following three assertions. All four leadership styles are received by followers, that is the telling, selling, participating and delegating. All four leadership styles are needed by followers. If there is a fit between the leadership style and style a follower receives and needs, that follower will demonstrate favorable scores on the outcome variables are there. For the first and second assertions, a proportional breakdown of the four leadership styles observed within a sample of working professionals is presented and discussed. And regarding the third assertion, for 10 outcome variables, multiple one way analysis of the variance tested mean differences between followers who experience leadership style fit, that is a fit between received and needed style, and followers who did not experience fit, right. And the sample size was the n is means the sample size was the 573 is there. So, therefore, in that case, that is the all these leadership styles were observed, right, and the ANOVA was there, which is a statistical test which is used. Those who are the students, they can go to implement this style of the test. Those who are not from this statistical background, they have to understand this is a statistical test by which we understand that is the who experience leadership style fit, and therefore, for this purpose the sample size, the leaders who have been responded, they were the 573. So, subscale scores from the leader action profile, the work intention inventory, the positive and negative affect scale and adopted form of the affective cognitive trust scale were used as a study measures were there. Three of these four leadership styles of the SL2 framework were reported as frequently received. Only 3% of employees reported receiving the S1, and that is the high direction, low support, while 33 reported receiving S2, high direction and high support, and 22 reported receiving S3, low direction and the high support, and 42 reported receiving S4, low direction and low support. That is about the delegating style is there. That the practical relevance of employees manager fit in situational leadership theory, particularly for the following outcomes: work intention, total score, intent to perform, intent to endorse, intent to stay, intent to use organizational citizenship behavior, positive affect, negative affect, affective trust and the cognitive trust is there. And these were the parameters, actually these are the dimensions of the behavioral science which has been studied by this particular paper is there. So, as human resource development practitioners seeks to educate and train their leaders on how to be more effective with their direct reports, this research provides evidence that all four styles are needed and received. Although there were lower instances of the reporting the S1 style, telling style to be needed or received is there. Now, you see that these I would like to have comment on this study, that is the here we are taking the survey method, and in survey method we are asking or interpreting on the basis of whether anybody requires the telling style or not, and naturally the findings will be nobody wants to go for the telling or autocratic style, everybody wants the delegating style is there. So, findings are the natural in this particular paper. A fit exists between the leadership behavior they need and the leadership behaviors they receive. Greater positive job effect is there, lower negative job effect increase the cognitive and affective trust in the leader, and high levels of favorable employee work intentions were evident. So, therefore, that maturity level and the leadership style that has to be matched. If the maturity level is low, then it is very difficult to get the output or outcome as per the leader's expectations. So, this is the book that is a situational leader. Dr. Paul Hershey has written this particular book, the Oxford Handbook of the Leader Member Exchange book recommendations, and this book presents the situational leader model which provides a system for managing people that is both conceptual and practical. It has a scope that is broad enough to permit its application to a wide range of situations and promotes a precise language in which managers could both understand and act upon the problems they experience in managing people. So, the main idea of the book is the one size does not fit all. So, therefore, that is a basic message, that is the one style of leadership that will not be working for all is there. These are the references which you can refer for the purpose of further studies, and it has been about the book has been also mentioned, So, I recommend you, that is the, I found this model very interesting. We will be discussing the further different situational leadership models, but this model I found one of the models which I like most. So, this is also one of them, that is the, yes, this is a situational model, and what we say is, say jaisa gana vaisa bajana, that is about the way the maturity level of the follower is there, accordingly you have to act as a leader. So, these references, the books reference is also given. So, I am sure that will help you to be more effective and successful leaders. So, it is not only the effective leader, it should be the efficient leader also, that is a successful leader, he will be there. So, this is all about the situational leadership and Hershey and Blanchard's model about the leadership. Thank you.